destroys marriages. And we don't have 7 keys today. This is from the live show. We have keys to make you actually overcome these financial and emotional issues that come with money problems in marriages. A lot of marriages are going through issues because of money. And so our title is going to be How Money Destroys Marriages. How Money Destroys Marriages. And I don't know if it is really true that money destroys marriages, but suffice to say that we are going to find out soon whether that's the case or not. And I don't know if you have anything, to say on. Let me just see what we got to say more here. All right. So the title of the show we have already said, right? So we want to welcome you to episode 1 of the Money and Marriage series on the Life and Health Show. Now, as you can tell, today we are tackling a topic that many of us potentially struggle with. Many couples struggle with how money, affects their marriages, and some of them have come to their wits end. Marriages are done because it's going down basically because of money issues. So what we're going to do is we want to talk about how the couples struggle with how money can destroy even the best marriages. No matter how great your marriage is, money is a potential to destroy marriages, regardless of how good that marriage might be. All right. And so before we change, you can go ahead and then we'll go to the next one after.
Okay. Do people see me in the box or?
Yeah. I'll just fix that a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. So that's right. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of marital conflict. And if we don't talk about it, if we don't check that, it can erode trust, intimacy, and even love. Or maybe we can say that it can even end the marriage, destroying the marriage.
My goodness. Right? But that's definitely true. And that we don't want that to harm it, right? So, but it doesn't have to be that way, right? In this episode, we are not just going to talk about this problem. We are also going to give you the keys to financial and emotional healing. Those of you joining on TikTok and the rest, you remember that is exactly what we'll be talking about. And if you want to join us on YouTube, that's even better because you see our full video right there in the same name. All right.
So if you are ready to transform your relationship and take control of your financial future together, stick with us. This episode could be the turning point in your marriage needs.
Oh, come on, man. This episode could be the turning point. Whether you believe it or not, we do. And so stick with us. So when we come back, we're going to go on a short break. When we come back, we will delve into how money destroys great marriages. Great marriages. I don't know about yours, but even greater ones are getting destroyed. And we want to hit on why or how that happens. But suffice to say that if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, share the video, click the thumbs up, like it, and invite folks because we got a lot to share on the live today. All right, so we will be right back. All right. We are back. We are back and back for good. All right. So we want to talk about a little bit about the show and also make the case for what we are doing. We just want to have to introduce ourselves. So go first.
Hi, I am Gifty Oteng, health and financial services professional.
All right. And I am Asamoah Oteng, also health and financial services professional. And we want to explain to you that we are talking about this. Some of you may have been following our health channel, where we deal with a lot of issues concerning, health, including diabetes and the rest. But today we are talking about money, and you are like, you guys are health folks. Why are you talking about this? Because as our titles have been mentioned, we are health and financial services professionals. We are qualified in either case, in both ways, to educate, and that is why we are doing it. And so today we want to, and especially for one reason, the whole reason why we do this is not because of anything, but one thing that we always close our shows with in 3 John 2, right? And if you have watched us long enough, you will know that we always say, 3 John 2, we say that what? Beloved, I pray that you may prosper
in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers.
I'm so used to the other version, so I keep saying it even that way. But definitely, this is the reason. Say, dear friend or beloved, depending on the version you use, we pray or we wish that you may prosper in all things and be healthy, just as your soul is healthy or is prospering. So we want to believe that your soul is prospering. If not, if you go back on our Facebook, you will also hear a lot of us, a lot about what we talk about, that aspect. But for our YouTube channels, we are focusing on money and health. And so today, that is why we are talking about this issue of money and marriage, how money destroys marriages. And with that being said, I'm pretty sure now you understand why we are talking about this. So we will go forward from here now then. Gifty.
Yes, so we have a show outline for you. The first one, we are going to talk about the fact that does money really destroy? Oh, which one is that? Okay, is money really to blame in the destruction of marriage, right? Is money really to be blamed?
Is money really to be blamed? Or do we just say that for real, that's really the truth? Because our title says that what? How money destroys great marriages. So it's really money the blame thing here. Are we really blaming money? Because I thought that maybe if you have money, it should work out, right? And I don't you agree?
And if you don't have money,
it can also be a problem. Yes. So money really isn't the issue. Do you agree with that?
Yes. So we are going to discuss it, right?
We have to discuss that. So don't take just the title and be angry with us and say, what are you folks talking about? Money is good. Yes, we know money is good. And as a matter of fact, we have a scripture also that backs us out. And I think I have it here. Let me see if I can post that too. Money isn't really the one to blame. Because in 1 Timothy chapter number 6, verse 10, it says that for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, for which some have strayed from the faith in their greediness and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So that is the key. The love of money, it's really the cause of all evil. So money is not the real thing. What do you think? You talk, and I'll also come in. I don't want to do all the talking here.
I thought we are going through the outline first. We're not.
No, we'll go that. But before that, let's just justify why we think that money is not evil.
Okay. Yeah. So like you've read, is we know we all love money. So having money in any relationship is supposed to make it more like enjoyable, because you have money, you can travel, you can have vacation, you can buy your needs and all that. So I don't think that money itself is the problem. It's the love of money. Getting like so deep rooted in money will cause a problem. But having money itself is very important in our way of life. Actually, you can pay your rent, you can send your kids to school, you can have dinner, you can do all that. So we need money to survive. But the evil part, when it comes like money being bad, is when you love it so much that you let it control your way of life. That's when money become bad. But other than that, money is really good, and we all need money.
Oh, come on, money is good. money is good. According to her, at least, I don't think, I don't know if I disagree, but money is good. Money is good. And I agree. Also, because even in scripture, apart from what we have read, well, let's just consider what we have read. It says that the love of money is the one that is the root cause of evil. Loving money is what. So when in a marriage, a party to the marriage, or both people in the marriage love money more than the spouse, that is when the problems will begin. That is when money becomes an issue. But money itself has got nothing to do with the issues you got. But if you love money over your wife or you love money over your husband, then that's the problem. No, whether it is more or less, where you place money in your priority line is whether that's going to lead you into marital problems or it's going to make you have fun in your relationship. So we believe that money is not a problem here, even though a show on a real title, the full title says that money destroys, great marriages. We think that it's not money to be blamed. What is to be blamed is actually the love of it, right? All right.
And also the people handling the money.
And also the people handling the money. So you may not love it, but if you handle it wrong, it can
destroy your marriage.
All right. So let's now that we get that out of the way, we can potentially go to the full outline and see what else is coming up, because we wanted to get this down before we move forward. You want to go?
Yes. So the second thing on our discussion is causes of financial strain.
And then from that, we are going to talk about rebuilding the trust and potentially rebuilding emotional connection in marriages which are on the rocks because of financial issues.
Then we will go over practical steps that we will talk about in order to plan and support your marriage and individuals.
All right. So that is what we are going to be talking about. So we're going to go through these steps, and hopefully, if you have a question, if you have a contribution, whatever it is you want to share, put it on the chat, on a comment, and we shall be able to see it. So that is where we are going from. All right. So that being said, we can start off, right? What do you think?
Yep, we can go to the next one.
Right.
Causes.
All right. So
greediness.
Causes, right? All right. So who starts, me or you?
Go ahead.
All right. So greediness. I'm not sure if that is my first point that I wanted to say, but suffice to say that. Let me see what I put on there. Yeah, I'll just go with greediness for the first reason why money is causing problems. So greediness, and selfishness. That is a key factor in money destroying marriages. And of course, when we look at the a previous text that we showed, 1 Timothy 6:10, says that the love of money is the root of all evil, and it includes greediness. So when parties to a married union become greedy, everything is for me. All the money in the marriage is claimed by them. They own everything. They want to hover over everything that the money is used for. They are being greedy. Whether or not they make the most, that's a whole other issue that we can talk about. But definitely, greediness is something that I think can cause a lot of problems. I don't know if you have anything to say to that.
Yeah, and also selfishness, right? So in the relationship, we all have money, we all contributing. If you tend to be selfish by trying to spend everything on yourself instead of on the family, or you are just doing it in such a way that you want to take the bigger portion of whatever is coming in because you're selfish, that's when it become a problem in a marriage.
Or being selfish also in a way where people want to use the money for only their needs. Like only you have parents, we both have parents, but you always want to bring money to your parents at the detriment of the union. Especially people in the diaspora. When we talk about some of those of us in the diaspora, We the ones that see it a lot. You know, every family have needs, and extended family needs, I should say, right? And one party may be the one that always. As for me, my mom took care of me, so I can't just go without giving the money every so often. I have to, at the expense of the entire family and the needs of the wife or the husband in the union. It's like being selfish, basically, always amassing and making sure that everything comes to them, even though they may not even have enough to do much. Because of selfishness, they overlook what actually has to be done in their own family, and then look outside their family to even their extended family. So selfish is me, 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 and me. Or some people don't even consider the entire union as a welfare. It's my dressing. I have to look good no matter what, whether we are in difficult times or not. I have to always look sharp. It is I. Before I came to this marriage, I used to do this, and I'm not going to sacrifice that. I got to do that. I always drive a Beamer, and it doesn't matter now that I'm married. It doesn't mean that I should, if my car broke down, I have to downside. I have to still get a Beamer, even though you know that your family cannot afford it. That is being selfish. So all those selfish me, for me, and for my family, for my extended family, become the ones that bring strain on the union. And no matter how great you start off with, as a couple, your marriage can be put into a disrepair as soon as selfishness start off in such a way. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, and you were talking about us being like maybe people in diaspora, right? So you come here, maybe you are the only person in your family that has traveled, and you happen to be maybe the older one, and you have younger siblings that need also like help with their education and their upkeep, because family, you look back home, it's not all well with them back home. They don't have enough money. So you being here, you are taking the responsibilities of taking care of the whole family back home. If you have that mentality in the union, in the marriage, if you are not careful, you are going to cause problems, because you have to think about the health of the marriage. Are you stable enough? Are you grounded enough? Are you financially sound enough before you can start helping the whole family back home? And even if there is an emergency, the idea of you bringing it up and talking it up before taking any step to help is very important. So I think not being selfish, thinking about the union now that you are in a new union, like you are married, is something that you have to pay attention to more than being selfish and want to take care of only your family and forgetting about the health of your current family.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. So now we'll proceed with the next one. We're probably going to give you 5 because initially we said 4. I said 4, but I think we made one up with the beginning. So the next one would be what we call lack of communication about money issues. That is a huge thing that is happening. When couples don't discuss their finances, it's like it's something that we don't talk about. They don't discuss their finances openly. Misunderstandings can occur. One partner might be a spender, while the other is a saver. Come on, man. Who is a spender? You and I. Who's the spender?
You're the spender.
I'm the spender.
I'm the saver.
You sure about that? Oh, come on, man. It depends. I don't want us to argue about that, but I think that I could also say you are the spender. I'm the saver.
If it comes to certain things, I think there are certain things that you spend much more.
All right.
So overall, I think I'll give it to you. You're the spender.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you give it to me. You are the spender.
Yeah, no, you're the spender.
All right. But at least there's got to be an understanding about how money is spent. We have to understand the way each one use money. Some of us are not financially literate when we get into relationships. You have no clue how to save money, how to take care of family. We just knew that it was time to marry, and we went into marriage. Nobody taught us anything. So you have to learn to communicate So that's the key. The first thing that actually breaks down a lot of marriages, great marriages, apart from the greediness and the stuff that we already talked about, is miscommunication or lack of communication thereof about financial issues. I'm not talking about communication in general. This is just about money. We don't talk about money. You never spoke about money. You didn't plan before, you guys were courting. You never considered how money is going to be used, or anything about money for that matter, retirement, insurance, childbirth, everything that has got to do with money. We didn't say anything about it. And that can be a problem. And also, like we said, knowing who is a saver and potentially entrusting them with the financial affairs of the home. And then making sure that the spender is also satisfied in some way so that, there's peace. Because without peace, there's going to be a lot of problems. Like I said, one partner might be a spender while the other is a saver. So if you don't iron those things out, you can be in trouble. And if these differences aren't addressed, they can lead to resentment and mistrust. You don't trust your partner because you think you are the saver and she thinks you are the spender, kind of like she just told me right now. Yeah. But again, we have to know our roles and talk openly about it. So that's what I would say about that.
So you were saying about, like, before you got married, nobody really talked to you about money in general. So maybe all that you heard about, let's open a common account and we are going to put our money in. That's all that you talked about, finance. You don't know how savings or how to even make budgets or how money works, credit cards, debts, all that. You didn't really go into detail. All that you learned is like, let's open a common account. So you have a common account, all right.
Some people don't even have it.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe they were told maybe you can do 50-50 or 70-30 just to have a common account, so that's where you're going to pay all the bills from, But you realize that one person is a spender. One person keeps spending it over and over, and one person is trying to keep up with the bills. So if you don't talk about it, if you don't bring it up and discuss it, one person is going to resent the other, saying that you don't know. There will be always somebody being blamed for something else. The basic problem, or the cause of the problem, is that you've not really talked about it. So in my mind, I check the account and there is money in there. I need something, I'll just go buy it. Because we don't discuss, we don't talk about the total, what amount that is coming in, how much we are spending. There is no discussion. So in my mind, I think that we have money, but in actual fact, we know that after everything is paid, we don't have that amount of money. So discussion or talking about it is very important, So we have to regularly talk about financial goals, our concerns and habits. Is very essential when it comes to marriage. We cannot just let things fall in place or things be because we are in a relationship. We have to really talk about it. What's our goal in 5 years? What are we going to do? So without this, small disagreements can lead to a larger conflict that can cause your marriage, because there is misunderstanding and there is a mistrust in the relationship because there is no communication. So we have to open up and really sit and talk about it and really understand each other. If I'm a spender, you have to educate me or bring across why I should cut off on certain things, because we can't afford it. We can afford it, but we have to rearrange it in such a way that maybe this month we cannot afford it. We put certain amount on the side. Next month we may add on, or maybe you can take extra hours at work to make more money. Then you can afford certain things, right? So,
oh my goodness, you're gonna make my supervisor happy, right?
Yeah. So it's something that have to be really talked about. In so doing, we are all on the same page, and you all know what it's up.
Definitely. It is something that we have to talk about, because without that, there's going to be always blame to go around, and problems will happen. So that is what we have to do. And in order not to cause problems, discuss, see your roles, and know which is good for you and which is not good for you. All right. So I think it's a good place to go to the next point, right?
Yep.
All right. So the second point is financial secret. Oh, come on, man. That's another huge one. Financial secret. When one partner hides debt or they hide large purchases, sometimes we have to hide because
We don't want to have a fight.
we don't want to have a fight, right? But then if you consistently do that, obviously it's going to lead to animosity, blame, and fight. And that can strain the relationship. So large purchases or even secret bank accounts. Some people, especially in the diaspora, some people have secret bank accounts. People who make more than their spouse, they don't want to bring everything to the table. We're going to talk about that too, but they create secret bank accounts and make sure that as for this one, my spouse, my wife, or my husband does not have access. They don't even know what is in there. This is for my own little project on the side. That is a recipe for disaster. Because it creates a huge breach of trust. If I find out that you had an account when we knew that these are the only 2 accounts we had, obviously you don't trust me enough. So why should I trust you? So right there and then, your relationship is strained. And that is when money destroys a great marriage. Your wedding would have been nice, everything was going on fine, but because of these 2 things, your marriage becomes something that you don't want it to be. So this kind of financial infidelity, I should call it, can be just as damaging as any other type of betrayal. It is, and I like the way I said it. Say financial what? Infidelity. It's like cheating on your spouse with money, hiding bank account, making debt secret, or creating certain purchases that you hide from your spouse. It is basically an infidelity, and that can lead to betrayal, mistrust, and the relationship can be strained.
Yeah. So trust is the cornerstone of any relationship. If you are hiding financial issues from your spouse, it's time to come clean.
Oh, come on, man. It's time to come clean. Time to come clean. All right, go ahead.
Honestly, I'll allow you both to work together to solve the problem rather than letting it foster and destroy the marriage from within.
Honesty.
So like if you are open, if you are frank, you don't have anything to hide. There is no way that somebody is going to find anything out later and it affecting your marriage. So talking about the secret account, I heard a story that somebody had 2 jobs and she is bringing in the paycheck of one job and the other job is a secret. And the husband has no idea that this lady has a second job. And she was saving the second job's money, like payment on the side in the secret account. And she's done this for almost a year or 2. And eventually the husband found out and the marriage broke down because the husband felt that he's been betrayed. And sometimes when it comes to finances, they are struggling. They are trying to meet ends meet. Not knowing,
secret account.
Not knowing that the wife has all this money on the side that she is using for her projects back home.
Wow.
So this can be a very huge problem in any relationship. So honesty is very important. You have to be honest about your debts. Maybe you owe so much on your credit card because you overspent. And because of that, you're trying to keep up. Bring it up to the table. Let's all talk about it and see how you can get help than to hide it and deal with the problem alone and you being found out later and causing your marriage.
Oh, come on, man. Hiding it and being found later. It's not good. It's financial infidelity. Now, the next one, can we go to the next one?
Yep.
The next one is unequal financial contribution. And by that, one partner feels they are carrying the financial burden alone, of the whole family alone. Especially again in a diaspora where one partner may work and make more money than the other. If you don't take care, you will tend to feel like, oh, as for me, I'm taking care of, especially if you're a woman, because traditionally we think that men should take care of the family, right? And if you're a woman and you have a better job, better, maybe a career that gives you more money, you may feel that, I'm carrying the financial burden alone. And it might lead to feelings of resentment and inequality. Like, what is happening here? We both should be parties to this. Why am I the only one who is lifting the family up? If you feel that way, then it's going to be a problem. It's definitely going to, no matter how much you love this person, if you cannot, throw out the fact that you are giving more or contributing more to the cause of the family, you think about it as something that is not right, then you have a problem. Oh, come on, man, you got a problem right there.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is especially true if the partner's contribution is the other partner's contribution is undervalued. Because, for example, if I tell you to be a stay-at-home mom, I shouldn't think that because you're a stay-at-home mom, you are not contributing. If I think that way, I am making you unappreciated. I'm forgetting your contribution into the house, though it may not be financial. If I think about it in terms only of financial, because you're a stay-at-home mom and taking care of the kids, you are not valued, then you will feel that way and resentment can come. So that is something that is also happening a lot. And the opposite is also there, where people won't struggle to make sure that I'm making, you also have to make, or we are all going to make. I'm not going to agree to stay home and take care of the family. We all have to work, and that can also lead to problems. And you know that it would be better if one person was home picking up the kids. For example, let's make it plain. When you have little children that have to babysat, they have to be babysat when you both are working. Sometimes it makes sense for one party to just stay home and take care of the kids.
Yeah.
Because the amount of money you end up paying in a month may be more than what you bring in. And if it's so, what's the deal with staying home and having the other person work all throughout? But you got to be mature enough to think that our contribution is equal, so that you don't make the other person feel undervalued.
Right. So marriage is a partnership, right? And that includes financial responsibilities. It's important to recognize each other's effort, like you're saying, right? Whether financial or non-financial, So we have to appreciate each other's effort, whatever I'm bringing to the table. So if I'm a stay-home mother, you have to appreciate what I'm doing, because I'm staying home and I'm taking care of the family. That is a support that I'm giving you, so that when you go to work, you have a peace of mind to make money and bring it home. So if I look down upon your effort, whatever you're doing or whatever you're contributing, that's when sometimes a little problem, I start blaming you, that you are the cause of all our financial problems, because I don't cherish what you are contributing, because it's non-financial, but it's something that is needed in the family. Like you're saying, if you have a little baby, there is no way that you are going to be sound at work if you realize that your child is so little and is with a babysitter, So having one party at home is very important, and also like sometimes too, when we have couple, one person make less than the other. So if the woman happen to make more money and the guy happen to make less money, it's just reasonable for the guy to stay home and the woman to go to work.
Oh, come on, man. Let me start making less.
No, you will make more.
I won't start making less.
Yeah, so like maybe let's talk about two professionals. One is a nurse and another is a taxi driver. So with these two, maybe at the end of the day, the nurse may bring in more money. So it's okay for the guy to stay home and the woman to go to work. It doesn't mean that the person bringing in or not bringing in financial, like money into the union is less of importance. We are all contributing for the betterment of the union. So we tend to cherish each other and appreciate each other. so that when there is anything, you won't say that, oh, you are spending all the money and you hardly contribute anything.
Definitely, definitely. That is good. That is very important. So there's got to be value. We have to value each other's contribution, whether or not it is financial, and also stop undermining and undervaluing anybody's contribution in the union. Otherwise, no matter how beautiful your wedding is, no matter was, of course, it's always in the past, right? No matter how beautiful your union is, it is only going to start rotten. Why? Because you guys cannot value each other's contribution. You are always comparing who's bringing more, who's bringing less,
And who is spending
and who's
more.
spending more, who's spending less. If that happens, and especially with money, because that's the only currency we use for exchange, you are going to need money right from the beginning of the union to the end of the union. So if money becomes a problem, then your marriage is already in shackles unless you fix it today. So that is important that we make sure that we don't do. It's a good time to go to the fourth point.
Fourth point, yeah.
Right. So our fourth point is debt and financial pressure. Oh, come on, man. That's another big one. That also strains a lot of unions. Debt and credit card debt, student loan debt, mortgage debt, and all sorts of debt. They can bring strain and destroy a great marriage. Living under the weight of debt can be incredibly stressful. And when couples are constantly worried about bills, loans, and financial survival, it can lead to constant arguments and strain on the relationship. That is exactly what is happening. You are always arguing. This person wants to do this, and then the other person refers to them. You know how much the loan we have.
We can take vacation.
We can take vacation. We can go to this trip. We can't go to this convention. We can't do this for our kids. This birthday party, we can't do it. We cannot afford it. That reminds me of the movie that we saw last night about one Nigerian movie. I think it was you showed, right? About a man that was really, really on point as far as making sure that money is used judiciously is concerned. Would not spend money even on gas. No extra money on grocery. The budget is fixed. It's got to be this way or not, just because they want to avoid debt and make more money. So if those constant arguments are there, especially because of debt, then there's going to be an issue. No matter how sweet it looks on the outside, there's going to be a problem unless you find a way. We're going to show you how to find a way in the future on this show. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We're going to break down how to actually eliminate debt in the future, some of our future videos. But we want to make sure that you know what's happening before we go to all those things. So yeah, debt can be a serious problem that brings strain. You want to go on?
Yeah, so debt can be overwhelming too, right? But it's important to tackle it together as a team.
As a team.
As a team, not alone, but the moment that you married me, you married my debt.
Oh, come on, man.
Right?
I didn't even look at it that way. So I married the debt when you were there. Man.
Yes. And my riches.
And your riches too. Oh, come on, man.
Yes.
That's
So
good.
everything, we are bringing all our talents and our abilities and the burdens and all that together. So developing a plan to manage and reduce debt can alleviate some of the pressure and help restore peace in them.
My goodness. Developing plan to reduce and eliminate debts can actually bring down some of the pressure that breaks down marriages. And that is exactly the last point that we want to talk about. There's a lot, again, but we cannot spend this one show to talk about all the things that go wrong in great marriages. So especially when it comes to finances. But as we said, we're going to have future shows tell you and teach you how to break and eliminate debt. And even if possible, even show some of you how to be in business to supplement your income and overcome some of these things that we face all the time. So yeah, this is not a comprehensive list, but suffice to say that these 4 points are enough to tell you that no matter how great your marriage looks now, it is possible to become bad easily if you allow money issues to come up and not dealt with. All right, so we'll move on to the next thing on our outline, and that is how to rebuild trust and emotional connection. That's what we're going to be talking about. If you want to start on that one.
So a strong marriage is built on trust and partnership. But that includes how you manage your money together. So we can emphasize this point over and over. It's a teamwork, how we manage money together.
My goodness, we have to learn to manage money together. And that starts with the trust, right? If I don't trust you, I can't even give you my time to talk about the money issues, which has to be a daily, a monthly, a weekly thing. Because, as I said, money is going to be something we use throughout our lives, whether you like it or not. No matter where you live on this planet Earth, the medium of exchange, if you want to build a home, you need money. Take kids to school, you need money. Even if you want to enjoy your marriage itself, you need money. So money is going to always appear in every decision we make. You know, whether you are helping people, whether you need help, everything about this life, you need money. And so if we do not build a trust, as she said, and then partnership with each other and continue to manage our monies together, then there's going to be a problem. There's always going to be either a mistrust, resentment, an argument, and your marriage cannot work. In fact, it will be just living roommates together because you don't really enjoy anything together because you're always arguing about money. And I think the other thing is we also have to have open communication. We are talking about how to overcome these things. We have to have open communication and honesty, and also have shared responsibilities. If Gifty is taking care of the kids at home, I have to know that it is me sharing that responsibility with her. It is the two of us that need it. It's not like because she's a lady, it's her job. And so if she has to do it, who cares? She has to do it. I'm going to go work. No, we have to have agreement on responsibilities and find them as shared responsibilities. So if I'm working and for the family, she has to stay home. Not that we want one party to stay home. Maybe we're saying so much. No, that's not what we are saying. You both have to work if it's at all possible because we need you to get the money. That's what we want. But if for any reason one party has to do something either less or more, we have to both agree. It is a shared thing for the interest of the union, the family, you, your wife or your husband, and the children involved. That is the one that comes first. And if we can do that as shared responsibility and align our priorities, then you can turn financial challenges into opportunities for growth. Because money is to be made. It's just either you make it or you lose it. Oh, come on, man. I don't think there's much middle ground. You are either making it or you're losing it. And so if you are not losing it, most likely you will be able to make it. And if we find it as a shared responsibility, that's something that both of us agree on doing, whether it is, how we use the money, the things we buy, the homes we live in, the cars we drive, the schools our kids go to, we have to both agree and have, those things agreed upon, openly talk about those things, communicating about those things. Sometimes one party has to go to school again. And it shouldn't be just one day I rise up and I'm going to do another PhD. And then she's either she wants it or not, I am going to do it because it's me, it's my passion. It's got to be something that has to be agreed on because there's going to be sacrifices that have to be made. Somebody I will have to work less or even not work at all. She may have to pick up more hours just to take up whatever things I'm not bringing home again. And so I can't just rise up one day and say I'm going to do PhD because it's my passion, or I'm going to do my master's, or I'm going to go back to school, get my bachelor's or my whatever high school diploma because I got to do it. Yes, you got to do it, but you got to be able to bring your wife or your husband along. That is when it becomes a shared responsibility. So when you are together in those big major financial decisions and you both have agreed, oh yeah, it will work out. Even though you may struggle, you may have needs, you may go through some financial difficulty at that point. But because you have both agreed and shared that responsibility, it becomes easy because you are for each other. And that is when marriages work, I think. Oh, come on, man. I think that was good, right?
Yep. And also, after agreeing, both have planned for it. Maybe you got married and it's like you inspired to go back to school. It's something that you have talked about it, you know. So whilst you are together, you are planning for that to happen. So there is a plan set up for you to go back to school. In so doing, we are going to make a lot of more savings. We are going to do things, put things in place so that when you go to school and you're not bringing in any more money, I'm able to survive. So I'm not going to resent you for going to school because you've made provisions, you know, for the kids and for myself, so that the little that I do, I support with what you're giving me, and you are going forward in the mind that we are going to, or it's going to get better in the future, you know. But if there is no planning, like you said, and you just get up one day, I just want to go back to school, you know, you have to give yourself maybe a year or two and plan and put things in place so that when the time comes for you to go to school, the family is also sound and they are able to move on.
Definitely, definitely. That's very good. That's very, very important. Very, very interesting. Now, the other thing is to overcome those stresses or to rebuild the emotional connection that has been lost because of financial strain. You have to start loving your spouse more than loving money. Oh, come on, man. My goodness. We said that in the beginning. But suffice to say, we have to hammer it more. A lot of families, a lot of spouses, especially in the diaspora, because you feel like you've traveled, you got to go build that mansion in your hometown or wherever you come from. Or because you feel like you've traveled, you got to take care of some folks that you left behind. Because you traveled, everybody is looking up to you. And so you love money. Money is like you don't want to miss any overtime at work. Every time you're looking for hours and extra shifts just because of all these plans you have. Family is calling you all the time. You got to satisfy everybody. So you love money over your spouse. You forget about the fact that she is first before everybody else who is coming in the marriage. Whether it is your extended family or even your children. We forget about all those and we just want to please others. Again, what we saw last night was amazing when a man wouldn't even bring their sick spouse, their sick wife to the hospital because they feel like it's going to be a lot of money. They would rather go to the pharmacy shop and get them some pain medicine and almost lost the wife. Why? Because of the love of money. So they love money over the spouse. And if it happens both ways, some men love money more than their wives, and some women love money. That is why some women leave their husbands when they get broke. Oh, come on, man. Am I speaking to somebody? Yeah, there are some women, if the man they are married to now became poor, they will not stay in the marriage. They will tell you upfront, I can't live with this. It's not just in the movies, it is real. That shows me that you love the money, not the man. Your reason for being in that union is his money or her money. So if the money is not there, there's no marriage. And if that is the way you are in your marriage, I can predict. I'm not a prophet. It's a sure banker. It's going to backfire. It's going to break down because that man ain't going to be rich like you see them all the time. There's going to be times that they're going to run through trouble, financial difficulty, and that woman, sugar daddy, sugar mom, or whoever it is not going to be financially strong all the time, or whatever reason for which you got into that marriage. If it is love, it's not there. If loving that person is not number one, forget it. That union is going to struggle. And especially if love of money is the reason why you went in. That is why it said in 1 Timothy 1:6 that the love of money is the root of all evil. You are loving money above your wife, above your husband. And shame on some of us for doing that. A lot of people do that. They will go into unions just because of the money. They don't love the man. They don't love the woman. It's because of the money that they have made. And if you do that, that's no marriage. That is something else. Maybe it's a contract of a sort. You can't really say that that's a marriage. And some people unknowingly, they didn't really think that was the reason, but what really attracted them and made them love the man is his money. And once the money begins to go down, that is where you see their real love was for the money, not for the man or for the woman for that matter. So let's make sure we put our spouses first in every union in order to make sure that we do not lose on the real reason why we are together. Because the love of money, not a spouse, is the root. Money is good. I like money, but I don't want to love money over people, especially not over my wife. And I'm pretty sure you can say that. Oh,
Yes.
man, you better say it. Come on now. Say it now on camera. Let's record it right now.
Definitely, I love you more than money.
Exactly. That way, if I get broke, I know you will still be around,
You are
right?
not going to be broke.
But no, if I do, would you still be around?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
I'll
what-
provide for you. Don't worry. I'll take care of you.
It's on camera now, guys.
I'll take care of you. Don't
It's
worry.
on camera now.
Yeah,
And same here. It's not because of your money or because of anything else, but the real love which should endure regardless of whatever we go through. So that is what I think we can talk. I don't know if you want to have
Yeah.
anything to say
So I
about
think
that too.
things that you can see that somebody love money more than their spouse. What are the things that they do that will show? You can see that their attention, everything is about making money. You know, they can go back to back almost 3 days and they wouldn't be back home because they want to make money. You know, and when you come up with any concern, anything, they shut you off. You know, they are not willing to take you along. You know, all that they care about is making money. If you put that ahead of the needs of your family, then it means that you love money more than your spouse.
Oh, come on, man. You love money more than that spouse. You loving money more than that spouse, which is very, very dangerous. In that case, the marriage may look great on the outside, but it would be broken on the inside. All it takes is for money to disappear, which we don't pray that happens. But life is life. You can go through seasons of lack. And if you are going through seasons of lack, that's when we show whether or not money was a reason. And for most people, we hope that it wouldn't be because you love your spouse more than money. Right, let's go to more. What do you think? Still have some time, right?
Yeah, so we talk about the practical plans that we can do, the practical steps that we can do for financial planning, you know. So I think the first one that we want to touch on is budgeting. Budgeting. I think the last time we tried to talk through it a little bit. So budgeting, what is a budget? You know, so if as a family, as a couple, if you are not going to let marriage issue or financial issues destroy your marriage, then you have to budget. You have to sit down and talk about money. Not just talk about it. You have to know how much money is coming in. Budget is just balancing, you know,
Your inflows and your
the
outflows.
inflow and the outflow. So how much money is coming in? It's not that you are assuming or you are thinking, is what really come in the account. We are not talking about the bigger one, the gross, right? We are talking about the net income. So how much money comes in? So you put it down, you put your spouse down. If your spouse is not working, you are working with only one income. So you write it down. Then on the other side, you write your expenses. You know, how much is the mortgage? How much is that and car payment, if there is any student loan. So like I said, if you married me, you married my debts. It means that maybe I may owe students loan. You may also have your own loans. You have your credit cards. I have my credit cards. So you put it down and you try to account for each one of them. So I think as time goes on, we are going to talk about how we can eliminate the debt that we all have, starting from the least amount to the biggest amount. We will really go through and try to teach you how you can do that. But the thing that we want to talk about is we have to budget. We have to know how much money is coming in and how much is going out so that we can know how much is left over and how much savings we are making, how much we are putting in for our retirement and all the other area? Are we investing some amount of money, or we are just going to spend everything that is left over? That's something we can talk about.
Definitely. So these are practical steps, like hints that we are giving you, but we will actually go into deeper, longer shows to show you how to do this, just like we do teach you on our health channel how to make sure that you eat well and not shoot up your blood pressure and all those other stuff. We are also going to find time, because we are both certified financial services professionals, not just in health. So we're going to bring aboard some of these things and make it practical. So it won't be just budgeting. Okay, how do we budget? We'll show you. But I think she has summarized it a lot. Your inflows and your outflows, and the extra is your whatever you can save or put into retirement and
Or spend.
For other things. So if there's no extra, then you don't, unless you can cut some of the expenses out, so you can get some extra. And we're going to be very thorough. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because this is a family-friendly channel. Whole life, issues concerning your money and your marriage. We'll talk about, and also, like goal setting, like she mentioned, how to set goals for retirement, child care, and even buying home, real estate. You can't just rise up because all your friends are buying home, so you go out and you also buy home when you don't even have your debt eliminated. You're adding more to your debt, unless it makes more financial sense for you to do that. So we're going to talk about all those, and the real thing here is that you don't do this alone when you're in a marriage. You sit together as a family unit, and especially as a couple, because Bible says that two shall be one when it comes to marriage. And you together put your heads together and plan those things. You don't just do things on an island and show it to your husband or your wife, for that matter. So I think that's a very good place to end the show today. And if you haven't shared this stream or liked, whether you are on the TikTok or YouTube, make sure you do that, because it's been fun and we want other people to hear. If you're on TikTok, make sure you click the follow, so that when we come next week, you can also see us. And of course, we have a lot of videos on our YouTube channel, on our health channel. And those who are on YouTube, you can see the health channel is at Dr. Oteng. And if you're on TikTok, it's the same name you see. If you go to YouTube, you can subscribe and you see our health shows and all the other shows that we do that are not based on marriage and money. You can also follow and be part of us. All right. Anything else that we have? We're good. All right. So then I think it's a good place to show our theme scripture again while we bow out. And it is, let's go. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul is prospering. God bless you, and we'll see you at another time.